second episode of Ask Your Dad. This is, sorry.
All good, man.
Sorry, I can't miss. We are going to be inviting guests sometimes. I'd like to just stick that out there. That sometimes we can have guests come along with us. Four of us can talk as a group. And how do you feel about this second episode?
Dude, first of all, I'm just pumped because this is the first weekend in months that we haven't had to go travel out to some wrestling tournament. And so my stress levels right now could not be lower. And I'm pumped that I'll be able to just spend some time with you this morning and see what questions you have for me. And I'm excited for it.
Okay, first question. When I was born, when I had like I forget what it was, but something was like my blood or something, cloggage or
Yeah.
something. I forget. What if you could 1 to 10? How scared did you feel?
Most scared I've ever been. Actually, the only time in my life I've ever had a panic attack. So here you come born, the biggest noggin I've ever seen, man. The biggest noggin to body ratio that's ever existed, right? This big old head. And it was scary, right? Firstborn son, didn't really know what to expect, almost passed out in the hospital. And we get you back home, and man, this guy turns as yellow could be, right? And we little research with the doctor find out he's jaundice. Well, the thing is he wasn't just jaundice; he was so jaundice that the doctors at Hurley Hospital, I'll never forget it, where they had like the college doctors coming in because the doctor's like, I want them to understand. You know, that we had Google still then, and I'm Googling the jaundice numbers, and Google didn't even have these numbers that he was, right? And so they're like, well, we're gonna have to do a blood transfusion. We've never seen this before. We have no idea how this happened. And here I'm a brand new parent going, man, here we are back in the NICU hospital. Very scary for me. Very scary. I just wanted you to be safe and protected. And you were born at about 7 pounds. You got down to about 5 from this whole thing because you just didn't want to eat. Man, so scary. And you cried for 14 hours straight. And what happened was the IV slipped and the nurse didn't check on it. And I kept telling her there was something wrong. And his left leg got like double the size of his right leg. And his legs were little sticks. And so he was crying all night because his IV slipped out. And anyways, here you are, perfectly fine. We had our second child had issues, but after you go through it once, you're like, yeah, we can handle this. It's all good. But very scary moment for us, man.
Second child you talk about.
Yeah, that second kid.
It was less scary, but it was scary, right? Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that second? What did you think about when that second kid came along?
I don't remember him being born.
No, you remember him now, don't you? You remember him pretty good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing his brother, you can have.
Oh, come on, you love him.
Okay, yes, I do.
Yeah, he was born with a collapsed lung, and by this point we were like, all's gonna be fine. We weren't super worried about it, but he was in the NICU for a week as well. Hence, we don't have a third child. Oh, the other thing that happened at that time is mom got a blood clot, and they misdiagnosed her for like a month, and it almost killed her. And so, through all this, I'm like, we're gonna stick with 2 kids. We're gonna be good. We're good here. I've had enough, you know. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Good question. Can I actually? One thing about that I'll say is the more things you go through in life that are scary or to be afraid of, the more you're able to trust and understand that everything's going to be okay, right? Have the faith that everything's going to be okay. And so I think walking through your fears is a really important thing in life. And being able to say, like, there's so much growth that happens in the best part of the lives. If you took back the 10 scariest moments of my life, I feel like I'd be so much weaker than I am today. So being able to just walk through those fears is so important. Is there anything you ever walked through that's like, man, that was scary or hard or?
Probably when you're going on those roller coasters. I'm like, they weren't meant for me because I was like just a few inches above what it was. So the belt buckle was pretty big for me. So I felt like when we were like sideways, I felt like I could slip out. So I hung on to the sides.
You got to get some meat on your bones.
That was scary.
It's because you're a string meat. You got to get some meat on. First of all, this kid eats. Like eats. Just drank a quick little plug. for Cook's Dairy Farm down the road here in Ortonville. Great local dairy farmer. Highly recommend them. But this kid drinks all the Cook's Dairy Farm milk, full fat milk you could find. He stopped eating off the kids menu years ago. But just a string bean, man.
Since I was
I think
like
half your
4,
weight is in your head, right? About half, would you say?
10 pounds of my
Yeah, maybe like 30, but anyway. Roller coaster, so that's a scary moment in your life. Man, you've lived a pretty good life if that's a scary moment.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, man. What's next?
Speaking of scary moments, what was one of the most funnest parts of your life you've ever had?
Oh, man.
Like your favorite part of your life?
I could go two different directions with this. So some of the best moments of my life is when I've laughed so hard I've cried, and I've had moments with my friends I can look back on where it's been so funny. If I laugh so hard that I cry, it sustains me for like a month. Like I don't need anything else good to happen for like a month, right? But it's such a rare occurrence. But I love it. Usually when it's some sort of prank. But some of the most fun moments, you guys being born were like very key moments. Marrying mom was a very key moment. I can think back. That was super fun. All of our friends were there, having a good time, being just joyful about it. But yeah, just those moments. But like most fun, if I can think of like fun, man, was some of the pranks we did back in the day with some of the friends, and like we did a lot of TPing, a lot of just a lot of mischief, ding dong ditch, all that kind of stuff was just like, so much fun. Love a good harmless prank. Harmless prank. Let me plug the word harmless in there. Love it.
You did pranks. What was one of your favorite pranks you did?
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of pranks.
I gotta be careful here. I can't be self-incriminating,
Okay.
I can't.
I know.
I still got some that people don't know that it was me, so I gotta be cautious. Not about to put that on video. Man, one of my most favorite. I like psychological pranks, ones where people are left wondering what in the world just happened, right? So one that my dad did, I do with my dad, I loved was we went to Florida. So we had a neighbor who had a pine tree about this tall. And we went to Florida and got pine cones about this big. And we stacked these pine cones all around and in this pine tree. And I'll never forget seeing him come out on his porch looking at this little pine tree with pine cones, about half the size of the pine tree, wondering what in the world, how is this possible? To this day, that guy, I'm sure, is still telling, how in the world did this pine tree produce these pine cones? Because your first thought isn't somebody brought these big pine cones here and planted them, right?
Yeah.
So I love the pranks that make somebody's world turn upside down.
What happened?
Yeah, I've noticed you kind of like that too.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? At school, are you a prankster? Are you a rule follower? If I asked your teacher, what would she say?
I'd say I'm more of like the person who's like funny and nonsense, but at the right times normally. I normally don't do it at the just like no, we're working here.
Yeah. I think there's a healthy balance there. I think it's I think a little bit of trouble's good. A little bit of mischief, a little bit of healthy, funny pranks is good to have. Don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was one of the times in your life where you felt like uncomfortable, where people are just watching you, just uncomfortable? You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. So I've never had an issue with like talking in front of people, giving a speech. I've been very fortunate. That's something that people get usually really afraid of. But I usually just I lean into the discomfort of that. Some of the times asking like what's the most awkward situations or things that have made me feel like embarrassed. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, here we go. So first of all, if I have any friends watching from my past, man, when I was growing up, I was a bedwetter. Like bedwetter, bad, right? And still to this day, I have a small bladder. And I'll never forget the amount of times I would wet the bed at my friend's house and have to like deal with trying to work through that, and try to hide it or try to figure out my way through it. Man, this is not what I was expected to talk about here today, but here I am. And I just remember it wasn't until I was about like 10 or 11 where I was like good with it. I was like just leaned into it. And so I don't have a whole lot of awkward situations because normally anything that makes me feel awkward, I eventually just lean into and go, I'm just gonna be goofy in that way, and I'm gonna let that be okay. And you know what I found? So you ever see like kids get picked on or people pick on people for things, and then the people keep picking on them. Why? Because the person reacts. If you become comfortable enough in your own skin about those things, about bedwetting or whatever that thing is, eventually the person it feels awkward or is picking on you, it's not awkward anymore. They go, this person doesn't even care, right? So just lean into the things. If you ever find yourself getting like awkward moments you're picked on, lean into them. You'll find that you move through it a lot quicker that way.
Yeah. Well, so sometimes I get into some awkward situations, and that's some good advice.
Yeah, you got any you want to share?
No, I'm good.
Oh, come on. You can't make me share this in front of people and then be like, I'm good.
No, there's not a lot of embarrassing moments I do because that happens to me because I just get like when something embarrassing happens to me. Well, I make them embarrassed. Like ha ha ha. They make me embarrassed. You get embarrassed.
Yeah.
So nobody embarrasses me anymore. So most of the stuff that I've got embarrassed with, I just.
I'm gonna have to embarrass you more then. I'm gonna have to find some times to embarrass you because I can't let my son go through life without a healthy level of embarrassment. So I'll work on that.
Please
I'll,
don't.
I'll work on that. Like my dad used to do. I'll show up to your school with a teddy bear. You forgot your teddy bear if that works. I'll figure it out. I'll figure this out. We'll figure out how to embarrass you more. That's not an acceptable answer for me. It's a rite of passage from a father to his son. It's a rite of passage, and I failed you in this.
What was? Hold on. Let me get a question. I'm kind of running out of some. What is the place you've had the most memories at? Like if it was at your first house, you've had the most memories. It was at the playground you've been at a lot of times.
Man, so one thing I feel very fortunate about is I have such vivid memories in my childhood. Like I can remember the way things sounded, smelled, like all the way back to when I was 4. And I remember so I grew up with a cornfield on the front yard, lake in the backyard. And I just remember so many summer mornings of like the sun beating down, the smell of my dad starting brisket in the back, the dust from our dirt road coming up. I have so many vivid memories when I was a kid at that house that I feel like I could go back there and it would feel like I was never left. And so I feel very fortunate to have so much memories of my childhood there and almost all good. So yeah, that first house has a lot. What's your first memory?
My first memory ever?
Like, what's the farthest back you can remember?
Probably right before when we're talking about when I first acknowledged that I want a new house. In this house that we're in right now.
You acknowledged you want a new house, so you were the one that kind of drove us.
No.
getting a house.
I acknowledge I wanted it too.
I got you. Okay. So when we came through this house.
That's the farthest that I can remember.
So us coming through this house and you.
3 or 4.
Yeah. Actually, I remember that. I remember you guys playing on the play set out there. I remember when we were picking a house. It was you guys running around the yard having a great time. It was so easy for me to imagine you guys growing up here, and I want the same experience for you guys that I got. So it's really cool to me. This place is very special to us, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Well, any more questions?
Maybe. I don't know. Give me 2 seconds if we should end this or not.
Sounds great.
If you could remember a time in your life, what is the most? I'm not saying the most scariest or the most funnest. I'm just saying what was the most? Like where you can remember just one 1 to 10 minutes of something, just the most that just sticks out in your head.
What's a vivid memory?
Huh?
Oh man. I would say when I was like oddly enough, we used to have a big pig roast when I was a kid, and I can vividly remember like shooting the fireworks off, the magician. I remember like playing on the lake so vividly. Like I said, I can remember like the taste of all the food. I still remember the taste of the ribs, man. I still remember it. I was like 8. I remember eating like 8 hot dogs and like a quarter rack of ribs. Man, I could eat just like you can. You wear it a little better than I did back in the day, but yeah, I just remember all those kind of fun moments as a kid and adventures and everything like that. It was really fun.
Nice talking to you.
Good talking to you. It's all right, bud. It's okay. Hey, good stuff. Next week, as he said, in the long-term vision is we will be looking to have guest dads, guest kids come on, and for kids to bring questions for their dads. So that's a future. If you have interest, let us know. And thanks for joining us. See you guys next time.